This is one word, two syllables. Ridiculous, right?
Hello and welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. It's me, Phil Robb, and I'm here with Phil Jones, and we're ready to get to you. We've been out for a little minute, but just kind of been sitting back. I know we had some wonderful ideas, had some things come up, had to look after the health of the fam. But one thing is for certain, we're 2 preseason games in. There's plenty to talk about. Jones, what's happening, player?
Not much. I'm really ready to dive into what we saw. I mean, we already talked about week 1, but I'm ready to dive into week 2 and do this recap. And I put out my tweet last night. I told folks and said, hey, there are some bright spots and there are some rough spots that can get corrected if the Raiders act on it fast and not just twiddle little thumbs and then let this shit linger into the season.
That's one way to do that. I know that we also have 53-man roster predictions. I too have seen some good, a lot of good. I've seen some bad. I've seen some causes for concern and some, quite frankly, some areas that still need to be explored. And so we've got that. We've got that for you guys today. We also might have some non-Josh Jacobs news about what's really going on, because we made this comment. There was this comment made by Josina Anderson about he's going to be back before week 1, and he says he didn't say that, and he's right. He didn't say that. Said, but there's more to that story than meets the eye, or maybe it's exactly what's on the surface level if you look at it properly. But
right,
let's get into it. The man of the hour is worthy of a liter of cola.
Give that man that liter, Aiden Farva.
Aiden Farva. That man has been incredible.
He's been on point. He's been solid. He's been getting the job done. He's, as I said, like when I first put that tweet out on him, I said, this man looked like Aiden Farva, but the man is pimp accurate. And he's showing it. He is showing it. He showed it camp. He showed it through these last 2 preseason games. And I'm going to be real here. I know some folks jumping and acting a little crazy with the, yeah, that's going to be our number 1. I said, no. Let's not do that. Let's not go that route. I'm not looking for that. Is he your number 2? Damn straight he is. After looking at Saturday's game and then just reviewing it over again last night, first things first, Brian Hoyer needs to just go on and retire. He needs to just go on and just be an assistant coach. He's a good teacher, but still playing quarterback. My man, you need to go. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean. Hoyer is my guy. You just gotta hang it up. Hang it up. Cause this shit, that's a roster spot right there that could be going for, I don't know, maybe a linebacker, maybe a decent guard.
Potential 7th receiver.
Or, maybe
What's it, a
Another
third
edge. No, I
tackle?
wouldn't even say another edge rusher. We're good on the outside.
Yeah, third
It's
tackle.
more, some of that money could be going towards a running back. Like, it's just too many throws I've seen from out of him, and he's overthrowing it. He's not putting. He hasn't been on point. And again, there's no for him to be sitting here at number 2 on your roster, where O'Connell, or excuse me, like I said, Farva should be sitting at. He should be your number 2 quarterback. Again, you can have Brian Hoyer, but bring him on the staff. Stop wasting these roster spots on guys that are old as Methuselah and can't get it done. Seriously.
That was
oh
horrible.
my God, yeah.
And so I'll take it in order as Phil here went off on a little rant, on a little tangent here. Look, Aiden O'Connell, I wrote an article for the Raider Ramble suggesting that he might be the future, because when you look at him, there's a lot to like there. Number one is the decision making. He makes good decisions, plain and simple. As long as he can continue to make good decisions with the football, be accurate when he throws it, and properly read and diagnose the defense, he's going to do well in this offense. He's the epitome of a system quarterback in the perfect system tailored to his abilities. He just fits it like a glove. And I had my doubts about him. I'm not going to sit here in front and lie about it. I didn't like the pick at all. But having gotten an opportunity to watch him play, watch what he's about, watch how he goes about his business, watch how he remains poised in the pocket, look at his quiet feet, his body always in position to throw the ball, the quickness of his release, the sharpness of his execution, and the fact that he's shown me more elusiveness than I thought that he was capable of. He avoided a sack when he was dead to rights. It's all geared towards the offense that's being ran. Is it gonna look like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, old boy from Buffalo? No.
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen? No, it's not. You're not gonna see him running all over the place. You're not gonna see him making wow plays. You're not gonna see. I'm like, oh my God, how did he do that? No, you're gonna see the ball coming out as soon as his back foot hits on the top of his drop. You're gonna see the correct read be made, a catchable ball be thrown, and if nothing else, gonna continue to work inside the offense and execute the way that the coach wants him to do so. That was one of the 25-yard comeback route was probably one of the best throws for anticipation that you could see him make. I'll say one of the things that I really liked about this game against the Rams was he showcased the ability to make every type of throw you could possibly want to make. You want to throw a 25-yard comeback? We got that in the bag. You want to throw the swing to the running back to beat the blitz? He's got that. You want to see the deep bomb? He's got that. You want to see him airmail one out of bounds? Like, what the hell was he throwing at? First throw of the game for him. So we've seen touch. We've seen back shoulder. We've seen regular old intermediate throws. We've seen short throws. We've seen deep throws. We've seen pinpoint accuracy. But what we haven't seen is throws to the defense. Virtually every pass that Aiden O'Connell has thrown has been either in position where only his receiver can get to it or it goes out of bounds harmlessly. Now, as for Brian Hoyer, look, man, you said it about as well as I could say it. When you look, they're running the same plays with different groups of offense. The result has been completely different from Chase Garbers to Brian Hoyer to Aiden O'Connell. And if you want to compare numbers, you could make a case that, he should be the starter because his numbers are better than Jimmy. But the reality is that he's playing a vanilla defense and he's not playing the starters. And before we go crowning preseason MVPs, let's give him time to develop. No rush.
And again, this is why I said some folks run around saying he needs to come on in and be the starter over Jimmy G, or he's gonna come in and play later in the season. I'm not wishing for all that shit to happen. I need stability. Some sort of calm season where it's like, okay, he did his part, everything worked out. That's all we need. That's all we need. Okay. Will I consider him to be your number 2? Yes. Does he need to start right away? No, he does not. Let that man develop.
The best thing that you could have is for Jimmy to play well for the duration of his contract, and for Aiden to be ready to take over in year 4. Now, you would ideally, you'd want that bridge to happen somewhere in year 3, because being a 4th round draft pick, he doesn't have a 4th year option. So you're going to want those 2 premium years under rookie deal. That's for the team side. But him being able to sit for 1 year, for 2 years, is the way things used to be done. And when I say it's the way that things used to be done, it's because you had a quarterback who was capable of holding the position until your rookie was absolutely, truthfully ready. He's shown a lot of good signs. He's shown a lot of good abilities. He's shown a lot of good mental acuity. And there'll be some bad. We haven't seen much of it, but there will be some. But him being able to continue to mature and learn in the offense before having to get out there on the field and continue, maybe even have another preseason like the one that he's having, is only going to make him better. Now, see, he's seen a real NFL defense in practice. We just haven't seen him up against a real NFL defense. In the joint practices that they were run, are you going to say everybody's breaking out their fancy blitzes and the plays that they absolutely need to get a stop on third downs? The likelihood of that is probably not very high. But he has seen the best of what San Francisco, and maybe not San Francisco because they didn't have Bosa, but the best of what the Rams had to offer.
I'm not going to put them down either with them not having Bosa, because I've seen where Bosa was out, still got it done. So right. I'm going to say this. He was able to see he saw 2 top defenses, okay? All right. And you look at the Rams. I know people try to say, oh, well, they didn't have all their ones in and all that. They had 2s, a bunch. And see, this is what I with the broadcast. We did the same thing. We had a mixture of our 1s and 2s as well as the Rams. So again, people need to really pay close attention to the details that is being sat in front of you. It's not that hard. I mean, you can pause the game and see who's there. Grab the rock. Hold up. He's part of the 2s. He's part of the 3s. You actually had one of your 3s out there with that first unit they put out there. So, feed is lagging. That is scary. I know why. Let's see.
That your feet is lagging?
Yeah, I think I know why. So they're working on the towers and they're working on the Files line out here because some dumbass, I don't know what he was doing. He thought he could dig over there.
Gotta love that. Gotta love that.
But yeah, and that's why I called him and said, "Yeah, you're not gonna be billing me for this month because of that fucking bullshit." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I was saying, the Raiders last week and this week, they mixed their guys up because you didn't have your starting O-line, all right? You didn't have Colton Miller out there. You didn't have Dylan Parham because he's out with a concussion. So, I mean, you only had what? James, Illuminor, and I have some words about Illuminor, okay? You know what? You and everybody in my family, okay? Kiss my ass. But I got some words from Illuminor because I saw some things that I did not like. I don't give a shit if it's preseason or not.
First and foremost, I need you to properly identify yourself because the last time you had some words for Illuminor, I was minding my business and got clapped from the side and couldn't figure out what happened.
You know what's crazy? I had nothing to do with that one.
You had nothing to do with that one. Oh, you must have
I
forgot.
had nothing to do with that one.
Let me hip you to the we know what your audibles are.
Oh no. That was Denzel Good because Illuminor didn't even get there yet.
Yeah, he was
Illuminor, yeah, he wasn't even there yet. That was Denzel Good.
Said he was blocking me looking for you.
That was Denzel Good. And what happened? Denzel Good had his mouth dropped like, oh, damn. He was right. Anywho, that's in the past. This is now. Illuminor playing on that left side, I was really, really shocked. You know, somebody can try to say, well, that's the way the play design is. That's bullshit. Bullshit. You missed some blocks. You had a guy drive you right back into Brian Hoyer, and you stopped moving your feet. There was some time stop moving. I get that it's preseason, my guy, but if something were to happen and they have to switch you over on that left side, if I'm that staff, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Nope.
What are you doing? Because you show me this, as the saying goes, what you show me now is what I'm probably going to see in the season.
Yep. When the bullets start flying,
his feet completely stop moving. Who said that shit? Them motherfuckers were blind. They weren't paying attention. The problem was everybody wanted to do sideline interviews talking to the coaches and shit while the program was going. Well, excuse me, while the game was going. You see clear as day. You go back in the second quarter, you look at a Jermaine Illuminor on that left tackle spot, you're like, what the hell? That was a live game. Y'all be like, what the fuck? And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
Be mean, be unreasonable.
I'm not being mean. I'm telling the fucking truth. Because you know good and damn well, if you had to go on that side and protect Jimmy, and we seeing this shit, we all screaming like, oh, Oh, we're fucked. Oh, Jesus Christ, help us. Raiders Twitter all in uproar and madness. And then it's time to
Jimmy.
send out Ain't No Farva, you guys. And then that same shit happens. And y'all are crying, screaming, and saying, it's Johnny Daniels' fault. It's Johnny. Bruh, that's gonna be what's gonna end up happening, because I'm looking at piss poor O-line play. Shit. And you know, some of you guys are getting hyped up over what's my man's name? Booty?
Who?
Jesus Christ.
Hey, bro, you ain't got a lot of. That was your man coming over from Denver. That was a good pickup when you heard it up until the time you seen him put on the silver and black.
You're looking at this man playing, and he got spun around. He
did.
He missed blocks.
Yes, he did.
And you're just like, how the fuck are they shooting through the A and B gaps? Like, how are they shooting through that A gap? How are they getting through there like this? And then you realize he's getting to his assignments late. And again, this is where we're jumping into part of the bright spots and the rough spots right here. This is what I was talking. We got to get this shit. I'm sorry. Now, Meredith playing left guard, I was satisfied with his performance. He maintained keeping this guy in front of him. Hold on real quick. Hold on, you guys. Hold on.
Wagner was solid for what they asked him to do. He got out. He's a big guy, but I think that he could have a spot if it's the last tackle spot, but I think that he's going to need some time on the practice squad in order to get fully right where he needs to be. I like that, EG. Honestly, that's at this point, that's where I am too. But you're starting to get into the 53 predictions, and I'm gonna hold off on that a little bit longer. Yeah. We both have them.
I'm about the same way with that one. With Dylan and Van Rotten.
Thoughts on Sean O'Malley KO? Yeah, man, batted him like you were hitting a fly with a fly spotter. I looked at that. That was like one of those Mortal Kombat knockouts, bro. He came with a overhand, and that boy just flattened against the canvas. And the coldest part about it was he knew it was coming. He threw his punch. He realized he had fucked up. He closed his eyes, said a prayer, and then got dropped. Now, I'll give him his credit. He ate it. He didn't get knocked out, and I honestly think that the stoppage, he could have gave him a couple more seconds, but he wasn't doing much in terms of defending himself, even though he was still making an effort. Your thoughts on that, Jones? Real quick before we cut back over to the business at hand.
That height advantage, bro. He clocked the shit out of man like a fucking whack-a-mole.
It was bad. Distance. It's one thing that truly teaches.
Hold up. Now we jumping back. Yes, that shit can be misleading, especially O-line.
Fuck that. Hey, can somebody tell me what Jacoby Myers did in that game? Anybody?
He caught a few passes.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
For how many yards? Short yardage. That's right. In that first.
No, like 16. I think he had 1 for 8, 1 for 16. Yeah. He was dropping it in there. No, but that was one of my things that stuck out to me with that O line. Your starters, real talk. Yeah, you could. Greg Van Rotten,
one catch. That's what it was. That floater.
Yeah, he had the floater. Yeah, but Van Rotten, he could be a guy that could start. He's solid. Bars is still solid. And then you just got to wait for
Bars is perfect for a backman.
And then you have Parham coming back. I mean, to be honest, I'd be fine. I'm fine with those two. Now, in reality, it's been quiet on the right side. Thayer Mumford.
Mm-hmm.
Mumford has been keeping pressure down on that side. I don't see him getting pushed back. He's holding his ground.
I don't see him getting beat. Forget about just getting pushed back. I don't see him getting beat. I don't see him missing assignments.
No.
I see solid block, and more than anything, what I will say with that's insane, but as part of the genius of what this coaching staff did last year, a lot of guys were talking a gang of crap about him being lined up as the tight end or the sixth guy in an unbalanced offensive front. But what that did was that improved his footwork tremendously.
Exactly.
And when you go back and you watch the game against the Rams, his feet were beautiful.
It was a prime example of what he showed that, hey, I can hang in this league. I faced the times that he's came in and played right tackle position. He can say, I went up against this guy and that guy, and I've been able to hold my ground. And yes, I damn sure believe he can continue to hold his ground. And I'm pulling for him to actually start this year. I think he can start.
And even if he can't, the fact that he's pushing Illuminor as hard as he is for playing time is only going to make Illuminor that much better, because he came in thinking that he had the short track to the job, and him and Miller were going to be the two top tackles in the league. Him and Miller may not be the two top tackles on his team. And it sounds like me talking crap, but I'll be honest, Mumford is pushing it. Mumford is playing well and doing everything that you could ask for a second-year player to do. And you also got to remember, he's a whole lot cheaper than Illuminor.
Nah, I mean, seriously. The other thing about it, I'll give you a prime example. Zamir White.
Start singing a song in a minute, Rich. Watch.
Rich, kiss my ass.
But
the other thing, I look at Zamir White. Last 2 games, he's got better. Okay, he's gotten better. Is he on the levels of replacing Josh Jacobs? No. I want you guys to understand that right now, because I went back on a few of the run plays that he had. He had the bigger run plays. He broke off running inside the middle, running right through the B gap. He had it. If he just make one cut,
Still
He's
running.
on the pay dirt.
Still running.
So
Nobody was
that's
going to catch
something
him.
I know they're going to go back and say, well, if you made this cut, just this little wiggle right here, you're running downfield untouched. Now, the other thing I noticed with him, he caught out the backfield. So something that you can check off with Zamir White for this year versus last year. He can catch the ball out the backfield. The running behind his blockers and, hitting the two holes. I know he's more of a north-south kind of guy. He's getting a little bit better going east and west, but it's better last year.
Yeah, you should have froze on that one, because watching Zamir run a toss anything is frightening to me. North-south runner, that's your guy. Power runner, that's your guy. Zone, I don't know about that one. Reading second level block.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting a little bit better on the east and west. I had to go back and look. I did a comparison last night, and looking at
last year
compared to last year, when he was going east and west was like, oh my God, just throwing the damn towel. You know what Britton Brown is? Man out.
Yeah. So we got. I can tell you what your running back room is looking like, but we still got to wait for the 53-man roster to drop. When I tell you, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that, and we'll keep
last
pushing.
thing on the O-line I'm going to say is this. And Mayers was out there long enough. But when he's got to do a little bit more with his blocking. Okay. Mayer's got to do a little bit more with his blocking. I know he's a rookie. I get that. I clearly understand that. But they got to work with it where it can come out and he can be a more fluent blocker than what he's showing us. And I'll also say he's going to be more like your Darren Waller tight end in a way. And it's showing. They're going to bring him. You want me to explain it?
No, please go ahead and finish.
Okay, so he ain't going to be moving like Darren Waller, but it's how they're going to utilize him. So Hooper's going to be your main starter. He's going to be your blocking guy. They're going to use him more. But they'll bring Mayers out. He'll be in the slot, or they'll line him out wide. Yes, they did back when Notre Dame with them. And I'll be real. I think that's the best option for him for right now.
That's interesting. I happen to see it a little differently. I think having watched Mayer, a couple of things, and then having heard what happened in training camp and having deduced what's going on, what happened versus what you were actually told. I think that Mayer, watching him play, Mayer is a big guy. Mayer needs to hit the weight room. He needs to get NFL strong. Now, whatever it was that he was able to do at Notre Dame with the competition that he played was good for him, good on him to get to this point. But having watched him in the pros and how he's in the proper position, he's just not strong enough. And I think that, as you said, Austin Hooper is going to be the starter there, is going to be the number one, but you're going to see a lot of Mayer and block releases and delayed releases coming clean, coming clear on some underneath and intermediate routes when everybody's lost focus of him because they're so busy focusing on everybody else. Whereas I think that if there was Darren Waller on this team, he would be probably one of the major focal points because he would be the guy who'd be attacking the second defender on either Devontae or Jacoby. I think that Foster was a little stronger, to be honest with you, Rich. I think
he was more.
Foster's
feet Foster was a little bit stronger. Like when you look at I don't know, maybe it was just off that angle. I mean, that can happen for a tight end, but still. I'm sitting here thinking about it. Mayers had been out for a minute. So I'm just gonna give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt right here. But
recovering nicely.
Austin Hooper is going to be your starter. I'm going to say that right there.
Until Mayer takes that job from him. And when Mayer is ready, he will. But
and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. People fail to realize when you look at this roster, you have guys that are already there that can start. They're not bad players. They're actually good. Because if you look at what Hooper did for Tennessee last year, he was very reliable for the Titans. So you want a reliable tight end for right now. That's good for Jimmy, especially on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5. You want to dump it all to him. He's a good blocking tight end. When the Pro Bowl had meaning, he got selected. Yeah, that offensive pass interference on her, I was a little. I'd say I was a little bit of weak, in my opinion.
Is one of the few.
I kind of look at the referees that they had out there. They did referees coming from college over to the league. So I mean, there's that. But I've said enough about the offense. I mean, there are so many bright spots on this offense. I told you straight up, those rough spots that you have right there, you need to fix it. You got to fix it ASAP.
And it can be. That's the best part about it, is that it can be fixed. And the offense that you see shouldn't miss a beat. In fact, it should be even better than it was last year.
Let's get to that defense. Now, we had folks saying, oh, it didn't seem like we had a push on that D-line on Saturday. You didn't have your starters in there Saturday. Again, like I said earlier, it was a mixture between ones and twos. To be honest, you had 3 out of your 4 starters on that line that was out. Max was the only one that was there.
And he was only there for the first series.
Yeah. And really all you had were like the rest of your starters on the back end. So you saw Diablo, you had what's my name?
He was out there. You saw
Lane. Yeah, Lane.
No Bennett, no Faison. Hobbs was out there.
So again, you're not having Byron Young inside. You're not having Bilal Nichols inside. But I will say this. When Adam Butler came in, that was a difference maker right off the get-go.
Another one has been Jordan Willis. Jordan Willis has been under the radar, unheralded, but has continued to produce, continue to pressure the quarterback, be in position, set a good edge. make run stops, be in his gaps for his run fits, and just do everything that you would ask for out of your backup edge player or one of your edge players. Can he get to the can Hey, we hold on. I got to find a hat or a bag somewhere. We'll put it together. We'll get him there. You just shoot wait. We'll get him there together. I promise. Donate to the ME Foundation. Hold on. Just open your hearts and just give generously. We will get Jones the Wi-Fi that he needs, the Wi-Fi befitting of a man from PG County and not from the starving villages of Africa.
I'm sick of y'all shit.
Malcolm Coombs had a great day for what he went out there and he was able to do against whoever it was that he was playing against. He was torching that right offensive tackle all game long, or at least while he was out there, and showed what everybody likes about him, while not being able to put what everybody hates about him out there too much. They didn't really run towards the side that much.
I'll say this: he started off on the opposite end of Max, and that's one thing I've noticed out of the years with Malcolm Kuntz, him playing on the opposite end of Max. He's always having problems on that side. But if he switched sides with Max, that right side, he's always blowing it up. Even going back to his rookie year when we played KC, he got his personal.
He played for Buffalo. It was the left side. He got
the right side. He does better, man. He blew up the right tackle when we played KC.
The right tackle for KC would be the left side of the defense.
Yeah. So I feel like sometimes if you have Malcolm coming out there with Max, I feel like those two need a switch. And then the times that you do have Jones, Kuntz out there with Max, there needs to be a double stunt. And when they ran that shit was vicious.
Speed kills, even on the
defensive line. They have ways to do this. So.
And I'll say that while I haven't said much about him, I will give him credit for his expertise in the what's the fucking word I'm looking for? The let's see. No, that ain't the word. Well, anyway, I can't think of the word that I'm thinking about. But damn it, Nesta Jade Silvera grabbing the O lineman and holding them to make room for the blitzer was about the most perfect thing that I've seen in a while. Now, yeah, he got flagged for it, but the reality is more often than not, he won't get flagged for it. And if you want to talk about a weak call, I've seen offensive linemen get away with way worse holding than that.
Yeah. Now, the biggest talk right here, and, we've all said our piece on it. It's the linebackers right now. Now, Rams didn't have any starters on the O-line either, so it was 2s and 3s. 2. Actually, they did have guys that were 1s and 2s on that O-line. That was even stated. It's just they were switched around at different positions, same as ours.
Yep.
So the Rams did have guys that were going to be starting, but they were in different positions, being versatile, same as ours. The other thing I wanted to just point out was we got a problem with one of our linebackers in coverage, and I caught this 2 weeks in a row. He is a liability against tight ends. I cannot have, for the love of it, I cannot have Luke Masterson covering another tight end again. That's 2 weeks in a row. That's 2 weeks in a row, bro. That's 2 weeks in a row. Masterson going up against the tight end has not been. It hasn't been pretty.
And
not at all.
The one thing that you did hear coming out of practice is that Matthew Stafford and the tight ends was dicing up the defense.
So now the one thing I have noticed when it's come to coverage with the tight end, Amari Burney can be one of your guys that can help with coverage on the tight ends. I'm going to say Curtis Bolton is another one. The other guy, yeah, Diablo. Yeah. But your two guys that I do trust when covering tight ends, and it's shown, has been really Burney and Bolton.
Bolton's been great. I got to tell you,
he's been flying to the ball. You see it on kickoff or special teams, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's flying to the ball.
Defense, stripping the ball, making hits, sure tackling. He's been everything that you could want out of linebacker. Now, I will say that I've written articles about how they've got an unknown who's who of linebacking core of undrafted guys, but they got some talent out there. And as we're talking about, a guy who could easily take Masterson's spot is Drake Thomas. From what I've seen from Drake Thomas, I don't know how this team doesn't not sign him, but he doesn't make this roster.
I think I don't see him not having a problem making this roster. And to be honest, like I said, Masterson in my eyes is looking like the eye. Now Masterson, yeah, he can go on and run and get to the ball on as like a thumper, but the problem is he's just not. He ain't it. I moved.
No, he's not.
I moved. Shut up. And the other thing is, you might not see. I've been noticing. I haven't been seeing Butler less and less.
And it's not because his spot is guaranteed either.
It's those two guys right there. They have not been cutting it. Masterson,
not big enough. Not big enough. Not mean enough.
No.
That's going to be. Make no mistake. That is going to be a point of contention for this defense. Is the run game? Is how the linebackers hold up in the run game, because to run the defense that they want to run, they need freakish athletes. They need big, fast, strong, tough guys, and they're checking off most of the boxes, but not all of them. And stacking up in the run game is going to be an issue. Yes, I see Drake Thomas is undersized too.
Yeah,
he plays bigger than his size, and he's used to playing linebacker. Whereas you're talking about safeties playing linebackers and guys who, well, it is what it is with Darian Butler. I'm not gonna say he's a scholarship guy, but
I mean, what you
we got
say?
something for that. We got something for that, and I believe that there's some plans for that. I've looked at what's available on this roster, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say too much about that now. But they got there's a technique and a strategy that was employed back in the day that worked well against Kelsey that they have the perfect defender for to redo that all over again.
You know what's funny? Now the weight loss makes a lot of sense.
Well, there's multiple reasons for that. I doubt that's specifically why that was done, but I'll also say that it's going to help. But that's not who I was talking about.
No, I was thinking about something else. It just popped up in my head randomly. I was thinking about something else. But
that's what happens when you get old. You got to start losing weight to get the speed back. You got to
yeah,
lighten the load. But we made these people wait 50 minutes. They've enjoyed what we've had to talk about so far. But we got to get into 53. Did you have something else you wanted to drop on them before we moved on?
I'm going to say this right now, and it's for three corners. This week is making or breaking for them. It is make it or break. Robertson, Webb, and Shelley.
Interesting.
I say that again. Robertson, Shelley, and Webb.
You got two out of three for mine, but you got 2 out of 3 for me. But I think that. But continue.
Reason why, and some people probably gonna wonder why I say Robertson. It seems like there's times when Robertson gets beat, he wants to try to overdo a few things that's not even necessary. Like, for example, it was like one of the plays, I think in the second half, he ended up getting beat by, I think it was Johnson. And then the tight end came through. He said, no, I got to strip the ball. Bruh, all you need to do is make the stop. Get low, wrap up. He's trying to strip the ball, and I'm just like, that's a bigger tight end, my guy.
Gave him 5 yards.
I know you trying to be Mighty Mouse and shit, but the fact of the matter is you ain't stripping that ball.
Gave him 5 yards and looked stupid.
No, he didn't give him 5 yards. He gave him about 6 or 7.
Yeah, more or less.
The one thing I noticed with Duke Shelley is just he's slipping and falling and can't get up.
He's great at open field tackling, and the reason why
that's good and all, but if you're giving that much cushion where somebody's managing to make that comeback route with that much space, that's a problem.
That's the issue. Is that he's great at open field tackling, but that's because he's allowing too many receivers direct to get to the ball, giving them too much space and catching and tackling them after they make the catch. And that's all well and good. You want guys who can get them on the ground, but you're going to need, in this defense, you're going to need to get to the football, and he's not doing it.
I know, yeah.
You'll have to excuse him. He was taking a little siesta right there mid show. He'll get back in just a minute.
Yeah, it was the play where Meek was right there, had the pick. But again, it's like he beats himself. He tries to beat himself up. I'm like, nah, man, stop doing that. Get your head back together and just play smart football. That's it.
Got a lot to prove, man. He got a lot to prove.
Yeah, I get it. We saw Chris Smith once again, like last week, getting ready to try to snatch a pick.
And had that been a better throw, had it been a better thrown ball, he would have had that interception.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like every time I see, I'm going to tell you this: Chris Smith is always near the ball. He's either going to knock it out or he's going to try to get a pick.
He's going to need to put on some weight.
Say it again.
He's going to need to put on some weight.
Yeah.
He's going to need to put on some weight. I don't normally like to put too much weight on DBs, but he's going to need to put on at least 10.
I'm about to say 5, but yeah.
He's going to need to put on at least 10.
But yeah, I mean, Masterson really got me. I'm now the one play, the play I was talking about last night when I was telling you to look at it. Fucking McVay's bullshit play. I hate that shit. That fucking it caused like massive confusion, and just you got the slot guy just sitting there waiting.
I'm gonna have something for him in a minute.
I'm getting sick of y'all shit with this.
I'm so mad that I don't have a wooden skewer or something so I can have a chocolate pop the next time your ass gets frozen. Just like right now.
No, but overall, I swear. I'm sick of your shit, Rich. Bill, I'm sick of your shit too.
That's funny. Get your 53 in so we can get in and get this done.
You sure you ready for my 53?
I am. I'm fairly certain it's pretty close to mine. I think that there's really 5 for all the people who said this was going to be difficult and the Raider cuts. There's really five spots that are up for grabs out of this entire roster.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so quarterback, I'm going because they're only going with 2 quarterbacks now, right? No, I forgot. They're letting them go with 3 now.
That's right.
They're going with the 3, yeah. So Garoppolo, Aiden O'Connell, and I guess you're gonna have Brian Hoyer. Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Amir Abdullah. Jakob Johnson. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers, Philip Dorsett, Keelan Cole. You was shocked on that one. Trey
That's
Tucker.
not the way that I would have went, but go ahead.
Trey Tucker and DeAndre Carter.
Carrying 7. Continue.
Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer, Cole Fotheringham. Left tackle, Colton Miller. Left guard, Dylan Parham. Center, Andre James. Alex Bars. Thea Munford. Illuminor. Greg Van Rotten. Jordan Meredith. On to that big old defense. Crosby, Young, Tillery, Nichols, Kuntz, Butler, Adam Butler, Willis, Jones. That's what, 4 DNs. I gave you 3, and I gave you 4 D tackles, right?
Yes.
Farrell Jr.
And here's your 5th DT.
Your linebackers, Spillane, Diablo.
Missing one.
Huh?
Missing one.
No, I gave you 4. I gave you 5.
Said you didn't name the number 1 draft pick either.
You didn't let me finish, bro.
I did, actually. You said you named them all, and actually, if I was to ask people in the chat, they would say,
you forgot what I told you, right? You know he's playing a little bit outside, right?
We'll see.
He gonna play. He's gonna be like a stand-up. So I got him like an outside. Spillane, Wilson, Diablo, Bernie, Bolton, Drake. Hobbs, Peters, Bennett, Faison, Long. Yeah. Morag, Teamer, and Smith. And you know, Cole, Carlson, Bobby Meyer. Hold up. Who said anything about fucking 3-4, bro?
I'm trying to figure out what defense you naming, but I mean, it's It's amazing. I'm just giving you room to do you. Because
What you got?
well, we have the quarterbacks the same. Honestly, I was of the mind to not
Because remember, it does. What was it? The quarterback. You know what I'm thinking about?
Yeah, the third quarterback.
You know, the number 3. Yeah, the third spot doesn't really count against the roster.
Right. He can be active. He could be active
exactly.
on the bench. Right. Okay. So then I had Josh Zamir, and from the third running back position is my first position of contention that's open for competition. And that's going to be between Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, and Damian Williams. I don't think any, honest and truthfully, I saw somebody say Bolden is going to be the one that makes it out of that group. I would say it'll be probably between him and Abdullah due to the fact that they play special teams. For the receivers, I had Devontae, Jacoby, Hunter, DeAndre Carter for special teams, Trey Tucker for his abilities and special teams. The sixth receiver spot was the competition between Dorsett and Wilkerson, and it is entirely possible that they do keep 7. And we will see how that shakes down. Tight ends, Hooper, Mayer, and Fotheringham was a name that I thought about, but I think there's another veteran that he'll have to battle it out with. I think the third tight end will be the third spot that's up for contention. For the starting line, I had Miller, Parham, James, Van Ruten, and Munford, Hronis Grasu, Alex Bars, and Illuminor as the backups, potentially having either Heron or Wagner as another lineman. Obviously, the specialists, Carlson, Cole, Bobin, Moyer. And then to the defense, I had starting Max Crosby, Bilal Nichols, Jerry Tillery, Chandler Jones. Behind them, Jordan Willis, Adam Butler, Neil Farrell, Tyree Wilson, Byron Young, Malcolm Kuntz, Marcus Peters, Brandon Faison, Trayvon Moore, Chris Smith, Marcus Epps, Roderick Teamer, Isaiah Palamau, Jacorian Bennett, and David Long. For the slot, we got Hobbs, and then one of the last positions up for contention is the three-headed monster battle of the shorties, Robertson, Webb, and Hall.
Hold on. How he gonna be battle of the shorties? He's taller than them.
So I'm talking about Robertson, Webb, and Hall. That's all the 5'9" bunch. And then for the linebackers, now this is where it got interesting. Not really interesting. I had Diablo, Spillane, Drake Thomas, or my starting 3. Bernay, I take that back. Bolton was in the stop. Bolton, Diablo, and Spillane were my top 3. Thomas is the backup. Bernay, Masterson, I had not making it. But if I need a spot on the roster still, he gets it. But I believe Masterson does not make it. Honestly, hit stick stepper. What happened to Matthew Butler? I don't hear anything about him. Shaking my head. Hey, Brett, you asked a question and then answered it.
Yep. I'm going to go with both.
I bet Brandon Parker's up there pretty high too. Kevin, what you want me to say? He said, I know what I saw on the field.
Yeah. Unofficial don't mean shit to me.
Not a damn thing, especially when I know what I saw.
You remember who was, hey, hold up, fuck that shit. Hey, Kevin, you remember who was on the unofficial at the top? Leatherwood. Remember how that shit went? Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin. Come on, buddy. You know how many times we had somebody at the top of the depth chart and got their ass cut? That don't mean a damn thing. Yeah, I really went there, buddy. I ain't talking about Parker. I said, remember, Kevin Wynn, when we had Alex Leatherwood at the top of the depth chart on the unofficial Pepper's Farms that shit. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'll just go on and put out my 53-man roster because there's somebody that wants to jump in this stream and be a little bit underhanded. So, I'm gonna just give y'all what you want to hear. But I will give you guys the right thing, yeah. No, we said Jakob Johnson, my guy. What?
He will make this team.
Damn. Kevin, my whole thing is go back and look at what he's been stuck in the middle of the field, bro. And he's been on. And here's the crazy thing. This was one of the things that caught my eyes. The guys that were getting it done, they took them off the field right away. Your guys that were still struggling on Saturday's game, they still stayed out there. Masterson was one of the guys that still stayed out there on that field. We go back to Curtis Bolton. Curtis Bolton was doing an outstanding job. And his whole thing is he has to stay healthy. If Curtis Bolton can stay healthy, he can be a solid linebacker for the Raiders. When you go back and look at, I think he was at, I think it was Nebraska or Wisconsin where he came out of. And then he went to Green Bay. Green Bay was loving him when he came out. He was good in camp. He was good in preseason. I think he had tore his ACL and he just had that setback. And I'm going to be real here. A guy like Curtis Bolton, if he can stay healthy at the fullest, he can get it done. I think Drake Thomas can get on this roster. I don't think it has to be a battle between Bolton and Thomas because you already have Masterson and Butler. And Masterson and Butler really had Oklahoma. Thank you, BK. Masterson and Butler really haven't been giving you what you've been wanting to see from the two. I feel like those are your two underperformers on that linebacking core. So Bolton and Thomas, you know what? They may be considered smart, but they getting the shit done. That's all I care about. That's what folks should care about It's the guys getting it done. I mean, he's what, 6 feet? We making it like he's like 5'10". And Darius Butler, he's what?
Darius Butler,
about 5'11".
Something like that, yeah.
But here's the thing. They brought Curtis Bolton with that to go against that second team unit. So he went out there against the second team unit. So, I mean, Bernie's been going up against the second team unit. Now, Drake's been one of you guys that you've been seeing against mainly the East. So he's not one of you guys that's going to start, but I'm going to say out of the bunch, Curtis Bolton got the edge. He's healthy. He is healthy, and pray that this man continues to stay healthy the entire season, because if he does that, that linebacking room is going to be improved. It's going to be solid going into the season, and he has speed. He's not stiff, so we're good. All right. I'm taking any other questions you guys got. What you got? Yes, Kevin Wynn, you're absolutely right. He is very helpful in the special teams.
Yes, very much so.
And fly downfield and just laying the wood on somebody.
Getting a strip. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else, but I will tell you this. I will give you my exact 53-man roster / depth chart tomorrow afternoon.
Ooh, the mystery, the tease, the official 53-man roster from Phil Jones. So exclusive, he couldn't even drop it on the show.
You want to know what's crazy? Oh, excuse me. Explain the veteran practice squad rules for game day. As I recall, you're able to elevate somebody. I think it's like an hour. 2 hours before kickoff.
Something like that.
Yeah, you can still elevate somebody 2 hours before kickoff. You know what's crazy? You keep closing this. Get your greasy finger. Get them greasy fingers. Yeah, it's you.
Look at you with your mouth open and frozen again. How about you work on that? Talking about people's feelings.
Kiss my ass. Anyway, and you still clicked on it because it is you. Touch that shit again.
And then you're frozen again, mouth open just like this.
Anywho, is Epps a reason for more better production? You know what's crazy? Morik's production did get better in the second half of the season last year. So I can't really say it's much on Epps. I think they just mesh together. I think they're a good bunch. Unless you want to say it like how Nate Hobbs would put it. But
that was hilarious.
that
He was
was
wrong
the craziest shit he said. But I think he will be helpful to Trey Morrig, and Morrig can be able to do what he needs to do. Epps looks comfortable back there compared to what was saying that he was doing this in Philly and doing that in Philly, but I think he'll be all right. I think Morrig's going to be fine. I think you're going to see, again, you got to remember with Patrick Graham's defense, they're going to be able to rotate these guys in and out. The key that the Raiders must have, staying healthy. That is a major key for the Raiders. I mean, everybody can say that's a major key for every team, but the Raiders must stay healthy if they're going to want to have the success going out there and having a better defense than what we saw last year.
Way too early for that, buddy. Way too early for that.
Nah.
The only coach who's getting fired if their team finishes last in the AFC West is the Chargers coach. It's the only one.
I'll put it like this. Nah, not even finishing last. If Brandon Staley starts off strong and fizzle out, what do you say?
You continue. He was on the right path.
If he fizzles out, I mean, like they starting off like they're like 6-2 or some shit like that. End up finishing the season 8-9, or maybe 9-8. Yeah, he's gonna get fired. He's gonna get fired. I don't care what anybody says. I see him getting fired.
No,
I will go back to doing the spaces. I just needed a break. You got some folks that like to talk hella loud over you when you're trying to give them the news and information that you're receiving, and then they claim that it's horseshit. And then you end up seeing it happen in 8K. So we'll see how that goes. But Phil, you have anything else to add in?
No, I think we've hit up all the points. We're gonna keep it pushing. We're gonna wait to see what happens with Dallas this week, and then last thing, almost forgot about it. Josh Jacobs. Listen, it's really simple. If Josh Jacobs doesn't show up at week 1, Josh Jacobs doesn't get paid. Josh Jacobs is not contractually obligated to be at training camp, no matter how many people want him to be there. For all the people who saying he should just give up his money and fall in line, understand this. Josh Jacobs did everything that was asked of him, and when it came time to negotiate, it was the team who let him down.
I 100% agree with you because, again, the Raiders would not be in this predicament if they had just gave him his 5th-year option. This comes back to last year. If you gave Josh Jacobs his 5th-year option and let him play it out, you would have already had him squared away going into this year. You wouldn't have him fighting. And, I wouldn't say it's a fight because it really isn't. It's just
contract
we're
dispute.
there, but we're not seeing eye to eye on one thing. It's just the amount of years, as he has put it.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things. Said the team has good reason for doing what they did, and he's got great reason for not showing up to camp. And we've seen that the team needs Josh Jacobs. And we also know, as Kevin Wynn has so nicely put it, say he don't get paid and his money comes back to the cap if he don't show up.
He's absolutely right.
And nobody's trading for Jonathan Taylor. No, they're not about to give up 3 firsts and then pay Jonathan Taylor when they wouldn't pay Josh Jacobs. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. If you're going to suggest that, slap yourself and save me the time.
Nah, just go on and enjoy the pills that Ursay got.
Man. Right? Oh. All right. With that being said, thank you everybody who tuned in. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend, hit the notification button. I know, like I said, we've been on a lot of random shows, so we're going to try to work on that and get that back to being regular as the season starts to progress. We'll get back into mid-season form ourselves. So that's Robinson. Wow, I said, see, look at it. I'm over here telling you.
Look, here, stop. Before you even do it. Hey, yeah, I did it, yeah. That's Robinson. I'm Jones. It's the Unfiltered Truth. I'll also be putting out the link for my fantasy football tomorrow.
And he's frozen.
This is your 5th year in the league now, I believe.
Yep.
How anxious are you for the Raiders to be a contender this year?
For me, I worry about the day. I'm worried about getting better today, and then tomorrow when it gets here, I'm worried about that. Every single day I come in here, I think about winning. I don't do this year-round to come in and not make the playoffs. I'm sick of that shit, and I want to keep winning. And I want to get back to the playoffs. I want to be in Cincinnati on the road, in a hostile environment. That's why I play the game. That's why I work the way I work. I come here, and I do this all year. And like I said, I want to win championships. I want to be at the top of the game. I want to be the number one guy, regardless of position. And I work for that every single day. So, yeah, I'm fired up for this organization. I love all the people in here, and I'm really just trying to, be my best version of myself and lead by example.
True words have never been spoken. Because I feel the exact same way. Putting a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of love into this team, covering this stuff, bringing you the Unfiltered Truth week in, week out, through the off season. I want to see some motherfucking winning. I want to see some playoffs. I want to see some championships. I'd like to see a division title. I want to see all of that shit and more.
Yeah.
This is 1 word, 2 syllables. Ridiculous, right?